I'd like to call the special meeting of the Bay City Planning Commission for Monday, May 11th, 2026. In session, please rise for Pledge of Allegiance.
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let the record show that tonight we have in attendance Commissioner Michael Burns, myself, Douglas Rise, Commissioner Stephen Stothard, Commissioner Ashley Meyer, staff Terry Multane, Adam Pruitt, and Lisa Griffiths. No one from the public is present. This is a special meeting to finish up our review of the draft zoning ordinance, to meet our deadline of May 13th to get it returned to Giffords and Webster's for preparation of the final document. We will dispense with minutes. Anyone from the public who wishes to speak on any non-agenda or agenda items? Seeing no one step forward, we will move right into item 3, new business. Special work session for the zoning ordinance, chapter 122. Says review with Joe Tangari, AICP, but he won't be here tonight. So this will be internal. You received, and I will have entered into the record, the subcommittee report on the 2 meetings that we've held since our last special meeting on May 6th. When was our last meeting? I'm losing track.
It was
The day before that, wasn't it? May 5th?
May 6th.
6, you got it right.
It was May 6th.
Yep.
And then we met on May 8th. Nope, excuse me.
11th was
Well, today is the
today.
11th. Something's not right.
April 30th.
April 30th. Yeah, our last special meeting was the 29th. No, that was our last regular. No, that was a special meeting.
No, that
Our
was
last special meeting was April 29th. And then we had subcommittee meetings on the 6th and the...
well, I have dates for the 29th and the 30th, which makes me think that probably the Thursday was our first subcommittee.
Yeah, Thursday, the 30th, and then the 6th.
Right.
So our subcommittee meetings were the 30th and the 6th. And you received the results of those subcommittee meetings every night at this time. That guy goes tearing down Saginaw Street. Anyway, our meeting on the 30th was all about Section 13-2, Schedule of Permitted Uses. And we did not complete anything further on sections or Articles 21 through 28. So that's what required a second subcommittee meeting. And at the second subcommittee meeting, we got through 21 through 24 and did not get 25. So we will still need to look at 25 tonight. The issues with 26, 27, and 28 are that they are primarily being proposed for adoption pretty much as is with minor editorial changes. Not to say that if anybody has an issue with one of those editorial changes, but please bring that up. But tonight we're going to be looking at the subcommittee report. So I'd like to open the floor then for comments regarding Section 13-2 that we subcommittee originally met on April 30th for. I will note that I did receive a response from Commissioner Stothard. He has some individual suggestions and would like to raise those tonight. And I would open the floor to him to begin.
Thank you.
Got it on screen too.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so underneath 1, residential use H, yeah, letter H, for the accessory dwelling unit in zoning district RM, I propose we change that to not being allowed a special use because RM is a high density residential or high rise residential.
Can you say that one more time?
Sure.
I find it on the screen.
Yeah, so accessory dwelling unit under residential use, so it might be up a little bit. Yeah,
It's H.
right there. Yep. So under RM, it's marked 8 or X right now in the current draft of the zoning ordinance, but from the May 6th the subcommittee, it was being proposed to change to a P for permissive, but I didn't think that should be allowed, having accessory dwelling units in an RM zoning district.
I think the rationale there, if I'm remembering our conversation accurately, was that there's still a lot of single family and, mostly single family that we were discussing in that area. And so in order to allow them to do it, just like we did in R1, that we would allow it also in that. So not necessarily that you want a high rise with accessory dwelling units, but that all the single family homes in that district are that's still available to them.
Would that become a non-conforming use then, technically?
No, because it's permitted.
But if it was X, then it would be non-conforming, so they could essentially do it anyway,
If they got approval.
if they got approval. Because I view this as new changes to new development, I guess. Like, say we put a P here for accessory dwelling units, and we're in the RM district. A developer comes in, wants to put in a high rise. This is then permitting them by right to put accessory dwelling units on that same exact parcel.
I think it's still limited to 1 per property, though, isn't it? Isn't the accessory dwelling, that section on accessory dwelling units, doesn't it limit you to only 1 anyway?
Yeah, let's take a look at it and see.
I don't remember what article that's in.
It's on page,
21,
yeah.
22.
21? Up on the screen.
Oh, you've got it there?
And I think it just,
21.2.
yeah.
Going to call it-
Property owner shall too.
Right.
Oh, and it says an accessory dwelling unit, oh no, that's only accessory, or yeah, shall be constructed only on a property containing a detached single-family dwelling.
Okay, then I'd say if we're going to keep it a P or change it to P, we'd need to specifically call out this section in the chart.
Oh, you want to put it like as a note on the table?
Yes. Yeah.
Or it already is. 21.2.
Oh, okay. It wasn't on this one, so I didn't see.
Isn't that, well, that was 21.2, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as long as it's referenced that.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
That's good. Next one was under number 1, letter P, home for the aged. It's proposed for all districts to be, I'm assuming, permitted. It wasn't classified there, but I would still assume we wouldn't want that use in R-1, RMH, a couple of the Cs.
No, we're proposing to strike it from all districts.
Right.
Oh, I see.
We're
Okay, so the
proposing
proposal is striked from
The
all
whole
districts.
category.
Okay, then I was
Yeah.
just confused.
Because basically it's covered
Okay.
in all the other categories.
Got it.
So there's really not a need for
Kind of
it anymore.
redundant.
Right, it's a
We
redundant.
went
Okay.
through the rest of the
Right.
similar uses, and I think
I was seeing it saying
Oh, in the,
Yeah,
all
allowed.
districts.
I
okay,
totally get it. Yeah,
got
for
it.
sure.
Okay,
But yeah, no, we were just gonna strike it.
that was user error
No,
on
you're
my
good,
part.
you're good.
Thank you for
Okay.
clarifying.
so you're good with it?
I'm good with that one. Yeah, I'd prefer it to not be there. That's great. Okay. Next one is the purple ones. I don't know why it changed
I
purple.
almost missed that.
Yeah, I didn't know why it changed to purple, but for office, showrooms, sales, etc. So
In the MU.
in the MU, I know it's just, so 2 above that, it's just saying change to S
Special use.
for special use, but I feel like in mixed use, which I feel like we got to be really protective over what we say should be permitted or just special use. But I feel like that's the type of uses we would kind of want to see in mixed use developments. So office space, sales, showrooms.
Yeah.
So I don't think necessarily it needs to be a special use.
So you're saying change it to permitted?
Permitted by right in MU.
I mean, I'm okay with that, but I'm the easy one that likes to make everything available, so.
So we weren't allowing it in any residential district, or not allowed in any residential district, up and including MU in the original draft. And we had decided at the subcommittee meeting that we would make it a little more permissive, at least.
Right.
And you're saying go one step forward and make it permitted in MU.
I am. Yeah.
I guess I'd refer that to staff. What do you guys think? This is Q.
Yeah, that's what we talked about before. It also had the workshop that was missing from that.
Yeah, so we did, right, we changed, some things changed. Workshop got shifted out of this,
Yeah, that was before this draft, though, right?
Draft,
Because
right.
now there's workshop on another page.
I
Yeah.
think we put it in industrial. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. So I think the office, I think we would all agree that's exactly what, but I think where it gets dodgy is the sales for trade industries, where it gets a little,
Yeah.
do we,
I see, yeah.
trade industry specifically being
Yeah.
construction materials and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
You know,
But we didn't
that
wanna-
we thought maybe a little bit of oversight might be needed.
Yeah.
more in
And that's
that
where we
category.
thought that special use would be appropriate, because then they could explain their situation.
Right.
And it
Like
could
the
be
setup, and
I
what are they
guess,
selling? You know, if it's not
yeah.
big, if it's just like tile samples or something,
Right.
you know. Then,
Right.
I think
But to
part,
put
of part of the discussion here was we've seen some of these come through, and yeah, people kind of stretch what you know could be considered under this category.
Sure.
So maybe it's a little bit of past experience that made us a little biased.
Yeah.
For special use.
Okay.
But I mean,
I just
I
hate to
think
see
it's
showroom
fair
and
to-
office folks come in and just be like, man, I have to go get a special use permit to put an office in a mixed use development.
so
Yeah, I mean, office to me.
so there's still this. There's different
Oh.
types. I think this
Yeah.
is
I
like,
say, what's the difference?
this is for someone who I think like has a product that is it's an office associated with it.
Office
With the
showroom.
trade and
So it's,
showroom.
yeah, so they're specific to trade industries.
Like we had
In
a
all
case where it was a HVAC person, and he was having a showroom and an office.
Yeah.
But it was mostly like a warehouse, but
Yeah.
they were calling it kind of.
Right.
So it's a tricky category. I almost, yeah, kind of. I guess that's why we, having dealt with these and how they've been kind of tricky, that the special use felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times when you have those showroom setups, they do have a large,
Like inventory
inventory
area.
that they've got a large building for.
Yeah.
So it's not just in a small little condensed
Right.
building. It's kind of a larger structure.
I guess. yeah.
And as staff pointed out to us during the course of our meetings, we've always got the option of coming back and changing this
Totally.
in the future.
Yeah.
If we find that there's a lot of use with this and it causes
Yeah.
issues
Unnecessary
one way the
burden
other,
or something,
or it's an
yeah.
unnecessary burden, and
Yeah.
we want to go to a permitted, we could.
Okay.
Yeah, I
But
think
this would be a beginning step.
Yeah, I think we kind of saw it as a middle ground of increasing the availability
Yeah.
of it, but then still seeing a little bit of oversight just to make sure it wasn't,
Okay.
and then if we just like Doug was saying, if we get
Change
more,
it,
then
yeah.
we can always bump it up a
Yeah.
notch,
And this was, I think we have discussed this quite a bit, and that's why like the workshop we put into industrial, but almost we could have you know, it was like, dude, yeah, trying to find the right fit has been challenging for this.
For sure.
Because a showroom can be so many, you know, it could be something, somebody showing, I don't know, carpet, but then it could be something that is more of an industrial type of product and trade that.
I think your inventory alone with trades can necessitate such a large building that a certain amount of oversight would be
Well,
necessary.
right, so I guess, I don't know, trying to think of an example, like Wholesale Electric, which was before they moved off where they were at Midland
Right,
Street.
Midland Street.
It's technically a lighting showroom, and they had a warehouse in the back. You could maybe argue that Midland Street could be a mixed-use development zoning district at some point. But in that instance, then Wholesale Electric wouldn't have been able to be there without a special use.
They would have to get a special
They would have to get a special
right.
use. Okay.
I think it's just to make sure that there's not some, because once you make it permitted by right, they can do basically anything.
Right.
And I think
Yeah.
it's really just, are there applications where we wouldn't want it?
Yes, and
You
this was like 3 uses in one,
Right.
so it was.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
a little
the other thing is
convoluted.
Your business shouldn't be, I guess, told no, they can't have warehousing, because oftentimes it's attached to the building. I think that's a independent use if you were doing warehousing, because, well, look at even some of these other examples where, they are doing some form of warehouse.
Yeah.
I think it's tricky though, like where do you go from like a back room like a normal retail store would have in a warehouse, you know what I'm saying?
Right, I think that is specifically, its use is a warehouse. You know, the whole site is used as a warehouse site. And I can think of, several of those where it would be, like an Amazon site or a Walmart site.
Right, like a distribution
Right,
warehousing.
like
Yeah.
a distribution warehouse or.
Yeah.
I think that'd be part of the special use, like how are you doing wholesale distribution out of this facility?
Right.
Yeah.
Or
Because you should be able to have some form of warehousing that goes with your commercial use. And that's why I think it's separate. At least that's my thought.
Yeah. But with the potential scale of what that could mean, I think special use is
yeah.
a little bit more appropriate just because of how
Yeah.
big that could
Yeah.
of a problem it could create. You see
Having
what
known
I'm
that
saying?
it's come through in the past, I didn't know the history. So yeah, I think
There's
Well,
merit to both sides.
We got a good discussion for tomorrow because I have a case for Hugo's. And so far I've only heard of what it's supposed to be. Right now I'm trying to get it in writing, but they have Hugo's on Euclid. Then he wants to build additional storage area and then have a rentable warehouse area. So I don't know about the rentable. That's what I was going to talk to staff about yesterday. Again, he's got to go for a special or a variance because it's zone 01 office. But that's a good example. Would a place like Hugo's, if they had a need for additional storage of locks, would they not be able to build a storage building because that's considered warehousing and it's prohibited? That's where I don't think that's the case.
yeah, I'm wondering if the definition of warehouse needs to change to distribution or add verbiage about it in there then, versus I don't even know, commercial owner
like direct sales.
direct sales warehousing. I didn't
But even
look at this
then, I
before,
mean-
so hold on.
If you were dealing with like lumber or
Right.
something like that was large in scale,
Yeah.
or like marble slabs or something,
Yeah,
the
That's
scale
not
could get
warehousing.
very large still, even if it's a direct.
yeah.
Right,
Sales.
that'd be different though.
That's
That
just
wouldn't be
supplies. Yeah. I'm wondering.
warehousing usually is going to have the definitions like cold storage for, the use of the
I don't
business.
even know if we have it.
It's not the primary.
Well, it's also.
I don't think we have a warehousing
There's
definition.
So we have options here. It depends what we want to do with the group. Right now we have kind of 3 uses in one use.
Yeah.
So we can break
I think
them
office
out.
could just be taken out because we have a professional office category, unless this is a different type of office
Yeah,
than
see,
professional
That's
office.
the thing, I don't know that we want to necessarily
Yeah.
take it out because
You don't know what.
you don't know
It's
what.
it's an
Yeah.
office for. The way I read this, I think it could clarify it maybe, but like this is all related to a tradesperson's
Right.
kind of business.
Right.
They have an office. They have their front
Office show, I'm thinking
facing-
like a heating and vent, or a heating
There's
and
that,
plumbing
Right, it could be
business.
some furnaces and, yeah.
there's that shop behind the Rathskeller that is primarily welding business and
Yeah.
metal cutting, but they have an office and they do have things in display there sometimes. Yeah.
Right.
Would we
And
want
that's, I
that?
mean, pure trades is what you're talking
Would
about.
we want that to be a special use, or would we want?
Yeah, I think
I
so,
mean, I
because
would
right now
think
it's not
so.
permitted at all.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think our argument that we had before,
Yeah.
our discussion was,
Yeah.
let's make it a special use and see what kind of,
Yeah. It
Right.
definitely shouldn't be not allowed. So I
Right.
think
I think this gives
versus
them an
going all
avenue.
the way to
yeah.
a permitted use, meet in the middle and keep it with the
I think,
suggested
yeah, if they're following
special
all
use.
of the standards and making sure that they're not creating a nuisance to the community, I think that gives them a good avenue to get approval, you know? But it also doesn't give people unlimited, unrestricted
Yeah,
use.
we totally.
You know?
Yeah.
you know, we don't even have a definition, do we, Adam?
For what? Warehouse?
Warehouse.
That's weird. It's the word.
I would say it's in the industries category as warehousing, wholesaling, and
Lisa, let the record reflect that.
but maybe it's
Commissioner
a
Natchez
different.
showed up at
Yeah, warehousing, but that must mean that in this document. that-
fashionably late, but he's here.
Oh, that's it.
So you're good with leaving it at S?
S,
then at this
yeah,
point?
I think that's
You good
good.
with that, Mike? S?
Yeah.
I appreciate the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, then you had U.
Yeah, you for
Drive-through?
drive-through facilities. Do we want to add C-2-A as well? As a
Sorry,
B,
2A?
which
C2A?
actually
Yeah,
it
we
may-
did have this discussion.
You made it.
Gotta remember what.
yeah,
Oh,
I'm trying
it's up
to.
with
Sorry, now I lost my place on the actual table.
There we go. I just have to look, the C's always confuse me which one.
That one was not
So C2A, you said?
yes.
So Columbus and Broadway.
Yeah. Because, just thinking like, not just fast food, but like pharmacies or other types of drive-throughs, I guess.
Yeah, we did have a whole.
Did you? Okay.
Our,
Sorry, I guess I should have been.
discussion about it. We'll call it a discussion.
Yeah. A healthy discussion.
That's right. Lively discussion about this. And so I'm sorry, what is it now? Like we.
Well, I know, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, let me pull up 17.5, okay. That's the
add
correct
reference number.
status.
Yeah,
C2A is a special use right now. And you were proposing to change that to a permitted?
Yeah.
That's it.
And you said C 17.5.
Oh, right there. So. Yeah, this is where the one that I got voted no on.
Was it?
Yeah, this is the one where we took a vote, a straw vote.
Oh
And I was on the wrong side of the
I could
vote.
have made a tie for you.
Yeah, because my argument was, you know, banks have drive-through facilities. There's a lot of things other than fast food
Other
that
than
have
just fast
drive-through facility options. At the very least, in my humble opinion, I think we should at least allow accessory uses for that, although it doesn't really become an accessory use per se, I guess.
So I think the discussion about drive-throughs related to the MU article, correctly? Not so much the C2A. We're talking about C2A now. Like,
Yeah, C2A.
So
Yeah.
Columbus, Broadway.
so what do we have it
C2B,
now?
yeah,
Is it
that's
a- Is it a
It's an S right now.
C2S, yeah, it's a special use.
Yes.
Just like the less, right? I don't know. Going back to I guess what the point of the exercise was like, do we need to make, for a case like this instance, do they need to come to us for a special use permit?
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I know past planning commission members individually, some of them had commented on the fact of, like in the downtown, there was the proposal where the Legacy building is on the corner of Center and Washington. Chemical Bank was actually going to tear that down, and they wanted to build a bank there with a drive-through. And everybody's like, you got to be kidding me. We can't have a drive-through at the corner of Center and Washington. So it's kind of site-specific, too, because that was the immediate reaction for, Center and Washington, trying to fit a drive-through in there. But then there's other drive-throughs. Even these restaurants have been criticized. Well, you shouldn't have a drive-through in your downtown. It's a personal opinion. Some people think why not, and other people have an opinion that distracts from a downtown.
C2A wouldn't be the downtown.
Not the C2A, no,
Right.
but the C3,
C3.
which I don't have
It's here on the map shown. It's kind of this color.
Can I say which color?
C2A is that,
So it looks like Columbus.
Columbus.
I thought Johnson was supposed to be on here too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then there's that bank that's just down on
Right,
Columbus.
Broadway.
It's now a different use, but it had drive-through, and what was offensive about that, I would ask.
Oh, and it looks like the other side of
I would then
Salford,
argue,
too.
just thinking about C3 then, because I didn't even make the connection there. I would argue no drive-through in C3.
Right.
Right.
I would say the maximum would be C2A.
I think the
And
special
C2B.
use, we've gotten limited, comments on this whole thing, but people are, what comments we have had, walkability. And,
Right.
I think people, with Columbus being residential, adjacent, abutting, like trying to focus that to be more pedestrian
Right.
friendly.
Drive-throughs are purpose for vehicles.
Vehicles,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like auto-centric versus
Yeah.
pedestrian.
Yeah.
Well, and a good example of that is across the street, because McDonald's had a pedestrian area in the front with tables. Then, with this increase in drive-through and this double-lane stacking and everything, and the fact that they wanted to be able to loop around, they asked if they could, go across that front. And after the zoning ordinance was looked at, it was like, well, there's nothing that prohibits you from doing that.
Right.
But yeah, my hands were kind of tied too, because they were eliminating that pedestrian element of it. And of course, that McDonald's has been there for a long, long time. So yeah, they ended up eliminating that. But that's one example where, the drive-through became the priority for the use of the site.
Yeah.
And that under this zoning map now is C3.
Yeah, that was. Am I getting?
You're getting C2 and C3.
Okay, because I don't have the table in front of me. Yeah. All right.
So Columbus Avenue, I think that's the kind of case in point.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's all along a
So it's,
roadway.
drive-throughs permitted just by right. I think the special use was really intended to be able to give the commission and people an opportunity to provide input about, auto-centric development, and then what people seem to want to be pedestrian kind of friendly. So
I guess it's hard to see Columbus being pedestrian friendly right now.
at the moment,
Yeah.
It's like if you let drive-throughs, then
It makes it worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
You're going the other way.
Yeah. Okay. So, should a master plan for this corridor come out, its focus would be geared more towards walkability versus.
And that's what the MU are flanking either side of it, so you can see just a little.
Yeah.
bit. You know, I
Yep.
think that's the long-term vision. I don't know how practical or realistic it is. Obviously, it's going to be driven by
Yeah.
people developing it.
Right. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it makes
there's
it
a lot of residential right now.
right.
Well, like Starbucks wouldn't be built in the C3. That's zone C3. So you wouldn't be able to have like a Starbucks there.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. Without
Do we
make
have
a
that-
variance.
Right.
There's always an option if you want it bad enough, but
So C3 is extending beyond.
Yeah, all of Uptown is C3.
Oh, I think that was one where I argued that we should have a special, but that's
I
not
don't-
what we have on our record.
Do we want all of Uptown to be C3?
Well,
I don't know if I would do that.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I don't know if I would make Uptown C3.
Well, yeah, it is. Already zoned that.
Honestly, on the map it is.
Yeah, it's all that red. I don't even know what year that was rezoned. Well, it used to be industrial because right at the back window we had
Right.
stone piles.
it was probably, when they approved that redevelopment plan, it's probably when they
Yeah,
rezoned
whenever.
it.
Yeah, they probably rezoned it back when they moved the company off the river.
Yeah.
They aggregates,
aggregate.
yeah.
and given some of the big development players in there, I don't know about just changing the zone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one there is.
At this point, anyway, I feel like that's something we would likely need to have had addressed earlier in this
Right.
process.
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that just
yeah?
eliminates, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, doing large kind of.
I mean,
Right, yeah, that's true.
yeah, that's
Fascinating.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at this point, we've just added that reference for 122.17.5 into the notes column, the supplemental standards column for,
Yeah.
for this one.
Well, and then, that's one where we were debating whether or not, because you see how it says C3, because I think that was one where we were saying, should it be a special use?
We had talked about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I had made that note, but I don't, it was not actually adopted that way, was it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Well, it went back to the point of what Terry was saying was, then you wouldn't have things like Starbucks, Taco Bell, McDonald's, all these things that are right here. And I think even in that meeting, somebody made a joke about, you better not take away my Starbucks. You remember that?
Yeah.
But, making it more available, but for those areas. But I think that was one where I was floating down.
Well, how did they get in there currently? How did the Starbucks
Yeah,
and the
that's my
McDonald's?
question. How did
question.
Starbucks get in there in
Yeah.
the first place?
Well, that's a long question. The easiest way for me to say it is Uptown ideally should have been planned as a PUD. There was strong resistance to do it as a PUD. Mr. Shaheen, Pete Shaheen, wanted to do site plan approval. So the Planning Commission was presented with phase 1, which showed all the different uses. Now, there was a table in phase 2 that had a long list of how they were going to do it. And I think in the table it just said restaurant. So the thing was approved by the Planning Commission, not as a special use, because at the time, some of those individual uses were still being planned out, or they were still doing the design. So by the time this came in, it was part of the phase 2 that was approved, because Sheila had asked me about how this medical building was built. And I said, well, normally after 1 year, site plans expire. But the way they approved this, there's no way that there was even an expectation that it would all be built in a year. Because they knew going in that it was going to be phased in, or it was going to take time to do that.
Right.
Nobody addressed that situation. So, Pete just assumes, and this should be the last one that was approved that hasn't been built yet. Anything new either wasn't on the site plan, or they would have to bring it as site plan review. So it was not an ideal situation when it was decided, and then there were consequences afterwards because of that. Because it was kind of
approved as a larger.
It was approved as a large site plan. They talked about the density. They talked about, different mixed uses. But I guess nobody stopped to say, okay, some of those might be special uses within that district.
As I recall, too, just prior to that whole program being approved, the Planning Commission was in the middle of another rezoning look, looking at all the zoning for the entire city. And of course, back then that was heavy industrial.
Yeah.
Right.
And so how it ended up being central business, I don't know, kind of after.
Yeah.
Well, central business with townhomes. So it's I feel like it could. Should I guess a planned use development.
Yeah, it should have been a PUD going in.
Or zoned mixed use.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it kind of got floated as a restaurant, and then
Yeah.
the term restaurant got
Yeah.
used kind of liberally.
Then the other complicating factor is there was, money that was invested by the city into the project for some of the infrastructure, and there was agreements that I was never privy to as far as, what was the agreement of who was installing what.
You on the planning commission at that time, Mike?
Just,
Would have been 2013.
yeah,
was one of them.
actually, I left Planning Commission just about the same time that the whole program was approved.
Yeah.
But prior to that, I'd been on Planning Commission.
Because
And we were doing zoning.
before there were buildings that were trying to be rehabbed, but then they were all demolished because they were just too big. But, so that's how they ended up getting in there. There's some missteps because of how it was done, and that's how.
So hopefully it won't happen again going forward.
Right. Because it should have been, a special use, or it would have been a special use.
So
Right.
It's just that the individual uses within it still are going to have to meet the requirements.
are we then going to continue keeping drive-throughs as a permitted use in C3?
What was that question?
Are we, so right now, it's being proposed in the current draft, C3, you cannot have a drive-through facility. In the the subcommittee meeting, it looks like it was being suggested to add a drive-through or add reference to that section.
I think we said no because we're thinking about like our kind of main downtown.
Yeah. And I would agree. I don't think it should. I agree. I don't think that it
But
should
the
be
zoning
permitted.
uptown area, I think I see your point with, we kind of have, this could be more auto friendly, this more room here, but we don't want to see drive-throughs, down the block here.
Totally.
The problem is it's all lumped together as one large.
But that's kind of a separate, maybe looking at rezoning would be more
Right.
appropriate rather than trying to tweak the use to get what we want.
Yeah.
Right.
So the next.
So We don't have a consensus then to change. We'll leave it as it is.
Yeah, prohibited in C3
Yep.
Yep.
and then allowed in C2A.
A special use in C2A.
Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah, the next one then, why mortuary / funeral home in mixed use, marking it to a P.
We were changing to a P, and you were suggesting taking it back to an S?
Back to an S.
I think the conversation, or at least my thought, was that most funeral homes are in residential home, converted residential homes. A lot of them, not all of them.
Yeah,
You know,
some.
but so allowing that to be permitted, because a lot of them are obviously 'cause they're residential homes in residential areas,
Yeah.
and they don't operate
Would
usually
we-
late at night.
Then say any of the residential zoning districts would be allowed then? Because this is specifically for mixed use zone districts, which I think just back to my original thing, I think we have to be very protective over the mixed use category and what's allowed. And I don't know if a brand new funeral home in a mixed use development
With a drive-through.
with a drive-through.
Oh God!
One-stop shop.
Is this
Well,
like Monty Python? You know,
have
for
to
now you're dead.
Think about it, funeral home, they have to have a drive-through. Casket out of the...
And delivery for flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good business.
Hey now, somebody write this down.
Very efficient.
So, because of the nature of the MU, we're going to have residential in there also. It almost makes sense to put it back to an S as opposed to permitted.
I don't know. I think we're trying to allow for more things, less special uses, more permitted. I mean, I don't know. I still think.
This is one. I don't know.
If we had a new mortuary facility that wanted to come in to one of these areas, the biggest issue would be parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be my concern. As far as the funeral homes go, it's pretty dead in there.
Oh God, the bad
Yeah.
jokes.
You were just waiting for that, weren't you?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I
he
think
was
that his
biting
whole
his
comment
tongue.
was centered around
Just to say
punchline.
that.
Oh.
Yeah, one of the parking, and then I think just overall use of the space in a mixed-use area where you'd rather them be a little more lively.
Yeah.
That's a
But
good
we
point,
have-
though, the
versus
parking,
dead.
because when you know, some of these uses, even if it's good to remember that even if you permit a use, there are other standards that they still need to.
Sure.
Right. I would say I think there's still parking standards for MU, isn't there?
Yeah.
Because commercial are the only ones that are exempt, right? So if a new building came in, you would still have to follow a certain amount of parking, you know,
Yeah.
as far as new.
Now, what happens and what happened at the funeral home over here is over time, those funeral homes and even the funeral home over by Vermont, they will try to acquire residential properties, remove the house, and then that eventually becomes the parking. So you're stripping residential homes away from that block because of the need for them to have so much parking. And it's happened.
And you really don't want that in a mixed use because that just takes away from the
It
availability
would take
of the
even
mixed
more
use.
stuff away from the district if
Yeah.
it was a funeral home, yeah.
But I mean, don't you have to get a specific approval for that?
I mean, if they buy it, then
I mean, I get.
I don't know, probably.
If
through
they
the
buy
state.
it... and-
Well, when you got the use, you'd have to have an adequate amount of parking.
well, they could acquire before. Yeah.
Or, yeah, are they in an area that's exempt from parking? In the MU, I guess there wouldn't be.
No.
Right,
Right.
right, yeah. Well, I guess the simple thing is just to change it back to a special.
That's what I'm arguing against. I like it to be.
Yeah, it doesn't, what's the consensus?
I mean, if there's concern for noise or smells or anything like that, I could see making it a special use. But
Okay.
considering the funeral home is
Yeah.
not that impactful to a neighborhood, I think leaving it P should be the way to go.
All right. Everybody in favor of that?
I don't have a problem with that. Obviously, Stephen did. because
Single
he
man
suggested-
out.
Yeah.
Well, if you read the other one, it was
I
me
know.
last time,
Okay.
so you're okay.
That's fine.
Media Production Studio. Media Production Studio are used for a wide variety of projects, including creation of course lectures, presentations, informational videos, class video projects, podcasts, and course demonstrations. So that could be the definition for what a media production studio is.
So we
Sorry,
don't
was that-
have a definition.
Correct.
Yeah, that's just taken from AI.
Oh, so it's big
I
old.
typed in what's definition for media production studio, and this is what.
I mean, that's a good media, adding a definition, I think that's a good
And I think with
class.
these different, categories, lectures, videos, podcasts, that it does bring in today's, uses.
It can be a lot of things.
How does it differ from the recording studio?
Well, it's media.
That's media.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
I guess it would
It could be, I mean, a recording, yeah, I know what you're saying, a recording studio, but they set those things up with a lot of soundproofing so that it stays in the recording studio and doesn't bleed out.
Yeah.
Media
So-
production could be film studio, it could be quite large space, could be,
Be video.
could encompass a lot of things.
Right,
potentially.
this one just encompasses
Do we
that.
want to get a suggested definition from
I
our
think we
consultant?
can definitely
I would like
request
that.
that. I don't see
Okay.
any harm
Yeah.
in doing that.
I think, yeah. That would be great.
I mean, that kind of goes into my thought that in these categories that we've broken down on the table, except for the extremely obvious ones, we should really be defining these categories in the definitions. I mean, in my opinion, unless it's very obvious, like library. Nobody needs a definition on what a
Yeah, I
library
think we know
is.
what-
But you know what I'm saying? On anything that has any amount of ambiguity,
Right.
these should almost all be defined in the definition section. Personally.
Definitely submit that to Joe, I think that's a fair
Yeah.
comment.
Not that,
reasonable
like-
request.
Hollywood is going to set up shop in
Yeah.
Bay City in their MU
You don't
district.
think so? You don't think we're the next LA?
Maybe.
What I'm imagining is more like small scale, independent kind of
Yeah.
photographer. It might be like a marketing branding that
Sure.
does some
Yeah.
film and-
I think just having the definition of what it actually is before
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
the change would be good.
Yeah. Yep, we'll leave that.
Your next one was 5D, community
Yeah.
garden. You
Just-
want
I'm sorry,
to
which
want to
one?
disallow it in
5D?
C2B?
I do.
I'm sorry, you want to do what? I didn't hear.
Not allow it in C2B. I feel like a community garden along a thoroughfare.
So I'm the one who's the defender of the community garden. I'm thinking about a lot of places in Detroit where community gardens can be temporary type things that kind of activate or clean up a space sometimes. And that's, even if they're in a place where it's like, this is not an ideal situation for a community garden, but if it's like a defunct space and people want to come together and improve it, that's something I've seen in Detroit. Dirty, abandoned lots. The
Well, they
neighbors
did one
come together.
downtown too, didn't
We
they?
had one
What's
on,
that?
was it 6th Street, I think, at one time there was.
We've actually had two right behind us here.
Yep.
And if you think as far as these particular corridors, that there is that nature preserve that's right
Yeah.
by that McDonald's on the south side of Euclid. And that's really popular. A lot of people use that, So I don't think it's crazy to think that that could be a successful
That
endeavor,
park
even
isn't in
a more
C2B
traffic-
though, right? That's beyond.
It's
That changes.
C2B. No, it's
No, it's
Euclid.
C2B.
The park does?
It's South Euclid. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably C2B.
I mean, I'm not looking at
Yeah.
the map, but I assume
Yeah.
that most of
I hear the point that when you're envisioning like a good spot for a community
Yeah.
garden, that's not what you think of. But
Sure.
when you think of
Not
what a community garden can do for a
Yeah.
space that's
Oh, absolutely.
forgotten.
So it's marked as a special use, or as it's being changed to here.
Yes, we were
Yeah,
going to change it to a
special,
special
yeah.
use. So
Okay.
it's still,
It would still need to come to us. Okay,
Right, yeah.
that's fine.
okay.
I didn't even make it permitted. but I'll compromise. So.
Well, what is it?
Is it allowed to be a, I don't know, I guess you can't maybe put a time limit on it. I was going to say just make it, we would be creating a,
Temporary.
yeah, we'd be creating a new category of temporary use then. But,
It's a whole layers of
yeah,
new
not this time.
language.
Okay.
I think special use is fun.
And oh wait. I had marked that for waterfront, we were considering changing that as well, but I don't see that in on our little
Is
sheet
it
here.
for waterfront?
Because it's, that was one that we included as changing the special,
Oh,
but I don't see it listed here.
Or you're just saying that it's missing from the table?
No, that it's missing from our sheet to change.
Oh.
That I had us changing it and it's not in it.
Add waterfront to the list of zoning districts to change to S.
Correct.
Okay.
What was the note? What was Stephen's note on that one?
What?
Oh, no, not that one, the next one. Right there, yep.
for MU, change to permitted for
Permitted,
museum.
For a museum, aquarium, and planetarium.
I think the reason we settled on special was just because the scale of how large a museum could potentially become, that you would still maybe want a little bit of oversight there if it was on a large scale.
You're gonna get back to parking as an issue too.
Yeah, same with planetarium, that could potentially, I mean, not that we're probably never gonna have another one, but could be a very large space. So
Yeah,
I think the thought was just to have a little bit of extra oversight.
just oversight of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, I mean, when you think about special use, or at least the way I think about it, is it's going through a process where if it's checking all the boxes and not annoying anyone, you know,
Yeah.
then in following all the standards, it should be allowed. So in a way, it's kind of just making sure that, you know, it's a good fit for the neighborhood. And I know we're trying to go away from special uses in general, but,
Yeah.
you know, it's allowing more use for things.
Yeah.
You know, but just making sure they check the boxes, not just blanketly saying all instances are acceptable.
As a civil engineer, special use just means get everybody in here to bitch about the project.
I can see that, Dennis.
But it gives you the window.
So I see special
And I
use
think
is
that's what
an
we're trying to
avenue to still
Yeah,
get it.
Right.
it's not
right.
disallowed, but yeah, it just
Yeah.
provides the.
Because I think a lot of these ones that we changed, you know, went from like no.
Right.
not
No,
really at all,
absolutely.
to-
Yeah,
I think
something, yeah.
we've done a lot to
This
really
is a
open
good,
up
yeah,
the
happy
board.
medium. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's how I did it.
Not happy with any of these. It's just
Yeah. No, I'm with you though. I mean, I pushed the
Try to-
allowing them on
sure.
lot of these. but I see the logic in
Yeah.
the special use as well.
yeah. Okay. Special use. Yeah, we'll stick with it. But I think those were all my comments. Then.
Yep, those are all the ones that I had
Thank
noted.
you for entertaining them.
Now, here's a big impact that I have to say because I'll probably always be reminded of it, but you guys know that Torrey Jackson, the tire repair place, he went through a rezoning, got the well, first he went to the ZBA for a use variance because he ended up buying the building, had used tire sales. Then he was sent a letter. He went to the zoning board. They said, hey, it would be better if you rezone the property. So then we went through the rezoning process. The very last step was the site plan review and the special use. Because I had to route it to engineering, because in the special use section, it specifically says to route it to all the departments. Well, MDOT, because Broadway's state truck line, and because city engineering, they wanted all of that concrete in the right-of-way removed at the developer's cost and redo the drives where there was only one drive on Broadway and one drive on the side street. All that work probably would have been easily over $20,000, maybe $25,000 just to do the concrete work. The guy ended up putting it up for sale. Now some other uses there that didn't require special use. So it was only because of that special use that that project died, because if it hadn't been a special use and he would have just been able to go into that former Jamie's then MDOT and engineering wouldn't even have had a voice in the matter.
I'm going to disagree with you on MDOT because I told you downstairs, Don wants every driveway scrutinized, no matter what you're doing in the business. Anything that changes is a change of use in his opinion, and if you're on an M road, he's going to want you to put in an M opening that conforms to their new standard.
Right, but why don't they come up with some money or some relief instead of
Right.
allowing these developers to incur all of that cost? It's their right of way,
You want to hear the answer I got?
but.
It's the cost of doing business.
Well, I'd like to show Don Hunley what that
Yeah.
property has become. It's gonna become nothing but nothing.
Mhm.
I'm
People
not saying a
take their
tire
business
sales
elsewhere.
is all that much better, but it's a good example of how we just drove somebody out because
When we had tried to do things
we
to help him.
had tried numerous times to try to accommodate the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was very frustrating because, you know, I'm the one that was guiding him through all of that. And then in the end, you know, I had to call him up and say, sorry, the engineers just killed your project. And then we had meetings with at least Rachel, our city engineer, because we weren't convinced MDOT was going to budge. Sat down with Rachel, and Rachel, the most she would give on it was up to a year to do the concrete work.
And that was because that Jamie's, it was driveway for 40 feet.
Yeah, all dry.
And right now, the city standard is 28 feet. And just the one driveway. Now, the only thing I can suggest to you is if they wanted that concrete out of there, should have had the city crew do it.
They weren't going to do it. See, my argument to MDOT in that particular case is if it's brand new construction and a brand new site, then by all means do it. But we're trying to reuse existing properties, and Don's position is only going to defer, like I was mentioning, the reuse of buildings. It's going to prevent the reuse of buildings when you have MDOT and engineering requiring that type of stuff.
Look
Okay,
at the
maybe
gas
this
station
is-
across from A&W.
Yeah,
The nonsense we had to go through
yeah,
just to get that to go.
yeah.
Maybe the city should explore some tax breaks for, for, you know, that,
I
those
don't
type
blame
of
the guy for
circumstances.
walking away from it, because I wouldn't have put in that much money for a concrete.
You know, you quote the amount that it's gonna take you to do it, and then the city will give you a break for X amount of years in relation to that amount of money. I mean, that would be a way to negate that cost for them.
But then again, then the city's out of the money.
But that's an MDOT requirement.
Well, but the city's out of the
Yeah.
tax money when that sits vacant because nobody wants to.
But it could very well be true if it wasn't an MDOT based on the engineering position, but anyway, it's just, that's how crucial, you know, that special use can decide whether or not, you know, something like that happened or not.
I mean, the question would be how many corridors, you know, does MDOT have,
Right.
you know, authority over, right?
M25,
So you're looking at
M13,
Euclid, Wilder, Broadway,
Salzburg.
Salzburg. Is that it?
Tuscola. Not Tuscola,
That's
Trumbull.
Okay.
Trumbull up to center.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do we even have that as a, isn't that all, do we even have that as its own thing? Isn't that all R1?
I don't know. Adam, take a look at the zoning map for us again for a second.
Oh,
Nope, it doesn't show that. Now, so Tuscola is a state trunk line up to center because that's M15.
So, yeah.
But we're
it's
showing that all
R1.
R1 with that. I mean, I can't, there's one upholstery shop on,
Oh, sorry.
what is that?
On Johnson.
Yeah.
No, there's one right there on Tuscola.
Um,
Wilder's? Is that Wilder's?
I don't know. I just
No,
drove past
that's
it
on
yesterday.
Johnson Street.
No,
No, it's a.
it's a house. It looks
By-
like a
Yeah,
house.
it's a
They're
house.
by
It's got a
appointment.
little,
Oh.
little couch with a,
No, this is
Or is
right,
it-
this is
or is it
right
Trumbull?
on Trumbull.
It's right. Yeah.
it's on, but it's, or, yeah, it's Trumbull, but it's in the city. It's not when it gets to Tuscola.
Oh yeah, no, it's in the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
I just drove
But it's
past
not Tuscola yet. It's before it splits.
It's Trumbull.
Right.
It's right at the curve, right? Just past
it.
the
Yeah.
curve. And it still shows
I say, but it's
R1.
showing all of it as R1.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it's in a house.
Yeah.
Well, it's in a house, but it's a business.
But it's a
I mean,
business.
there's-
I mean, obviously, at some point, they got
Use it.
Maybe
a
a
variance or
occupation.
something, or a special use.
What house are you talking about?
Lutheran home?
It's a, no, we're talking about Weiler's upholstery. I think it's Weiler's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right on, it's right on Trumbull.
Yeah, that's probably just a long-standing retail.
Yeah, that's been there for a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's when, you know, somebody built a storefront on their house and said, I'm gonna open a business, and nobody said no.
And nobody said no. Right.
Didn't have to have single
You
use.
didn't have to have
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it wasn't a zoning ordinance. All right, so
Is
we
that,
are,
is that it for 13, or you guys don't
That's
have
it.
anything?
If nobody else has any other comments on
No.
13, let's move to 21. You can see the bulleted issues that we talked about and recommended for change. And we can talk about each one individually, or we can open it to the floor for anybody who has any comments on any of these. Questions? I mean, I know that very first one where we changed accessory dwelling unit, paragraph B3C, to 864 feet from 850. I know it looks like a pretty minor change, but it was.
Well, that's to
It was
match
based, yeah.
with
the
our
accessory
other,
structure.
yeah,
With other.
so just consistency.
Yep. I think probably most important would be the fourth bullet down, 122, 2120, the table,
Yeah,
where we did make some significant change in the square footages in that table.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
What did I say that was? 2120. Oh, yeah. And that was, the table as it stood, as it was presented, between efficiency and one bedroom, it was the same square footage. And the comment that kicked us off was, shouldn't we have a little bit more differential between efficiency and a one bedroom to give efficiency a little extra boost on that? And then that got us into the whole rest of that table. We changed then the interval between 1, 2, 3, and 4 by, what did we do, 200 square feet? Yeah, 200
I
square
would
feet.
note too, I think that although once again we've had limited public comment, that the comment we have had has been, some of it has been kind of specific
To this.
so,
Right.
And I think that satisfies that if we do that.
It's a compromise, I think.
Yeah.
I know some people wanted to
More.
see it a lot lower, but I think we reached a fair compromise.
And as I look at the rest of those, I think, the very last one on motor vehicle dismantlers, salvage yards,
Yeah,
we asked for a new paragraph A, or add a new subparagraph 6 in A for the screening requirement, because there wasn't any in that existing language, and we wanted to make it consistent with 121.17 and 121.18, or 122-21.18,
yeah.
where there are standards. Did anyone else have any other suggestions in section 21? Section 22. Nonconformity.
Yeah, this is a good note because oftentimes it does get confusing if you're talking about structure or if you're talking about a use, and the more you separate those two,
Right. So
the easier it is to decipher.
122-22.2 nonconforming uses. What started there was, I think Ashley, you said, well, we're showing nonconforming uses, but then we talk about buildings within the text of that
Right.
section, and we already have a section for buildings, so
Yeah, they're
Shouldn't they be
basically both
consistent?
apply to both.
Right.
So,
we settled on making sure that they were internally consistent for use in 122.22.2 and buildings in 122.22.5. And then, that's all we had for
That's it,
22.
22.
Yeah.
Well, that was a large chunk of it. We were basically like, okay, just bring us back.
And then in 23, Zoning Board of Appeals, the one major discussion we had that we didn't get resolution on was the 4 standards for a use variance. That
I
show,
think governed by state law too.
Well, what I had answered, and Joe wasn't there, and we were going to ask him that question today to see what experience he had. But, yeah, that's what I had said, is that was based on previous case law. Those standards are pretty developed from other communities, a lot of
Pretty
communities.
sure, I feel pretty certain that that's a state kind of variance requirements.
Yeah.
As somebody who goes through these documents on a regular basis, those 4 statements are in every one I hit.
Yeah.
Michigan Planning
Yeah.
and Zoning Enabling Act.
So any community with the ability for a use variance, typically those are the standards.
Those are the
that
standards.
Oh, yes, this
Right.
is that whole thing that
Yeah,
turned into
yeah.
yeah, I'll be curious to see what Joe says.
and so we didn't get anything back from Joe on this yet at all?
No, and I don't anticipate. I'm not sure. So I did speak with him or emailed with him, and he's received the comments. He's compiling everything and beginning to integrate comments and notes into an updated draft. He knows that we need it before the 27th or 28th, but how much sooner we may get it before that, I can't say.
It'd be nice that we get it before we put it out for how soon do we have to have it out as a document before we have the public hearing? Is it 2 weeks?
Have the document ready before the public hearing?
Right, doesn't the document have to be available for public review before we have the public hearing?
Yeah, I would say we should have that by, because we're sending out, well, we're not sending out letters, but the idea is to let people know and post that in advance. So, yeah, we got to talk to Joe about that then too.
If we're meeting on June 17th for our public hearing, then I would think it's got to be sometime in advance of that.
Probably 2 weeks.
I would think, but I don't
Yeah.
know what our notification
Yes,
requires.
Well,
It's
I
gotta be-
believe we even said we need it.
Yeah,
Well, he has to return the full draft to us by Wednesday, May 27th.
yeah, and I did just update this so everything should be accurate on this schedule. Because what I added today was the review of the city attorney. I did have a conversation with him and made sure that he was lined up. So these are all the dates that we're still striving for.
That would be, oh, right here, okay.
So the city attorney's not going to get it until the day before our meeting?
Well, because of how, yeah. But we're gonna do the public hearing based on, what we believe will be our final draft as far as the planning commission. And then the city attorney will have to review that at the same time we're holding our public hearing, because if there is something that has to be addressed at the public hearing, it would cause us to go back into the ordinance again and possibly change.
This would be worst case scenario, though, if we get it back sooner.
Yeah,
Which
Right.
my understanding is that Joe is going to get this to us by May 27th. So
yeah, and if that's the case, I can at least, because what I had when I was talking to the city attorney is this schedule, and then we were looking at that June 17th, and then looking at his schedule, he said, well, I just need it at the same time you're doing the public hearing.
Yeah, but you don't want to have our public hearing go forward and we approve it for submission to city commission, and then all of a sudden the city attorney come up with a reason that it has to go back to the drawing board.
My understanding, we would have the draft back on May 27th.
If we
The
get it
next
back-
day, we can send
Yeah.
Turn it right over to
maybe.
the city attorney right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that can happen. It might have just been his schedule but I can at least get it to him. Yeah, it'll look better if we do it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
okay, that will have to be moved
and we'll
up.
conduct, on June 17th, we'll conduct our public hearing.
Yeah.
June 17th, yeah.
Make a recommendation to submit it to the city commission for review and approval, and then we're done with it.
Right, 'cause, yeah, on that
Until,
Wednesday.
yeah, until we have to start implementing it.
Right. Okay. Yep, final draft, May 27th, yep. That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be good to post the draft, when we post the agenda, if we can. The sooner we have it, the earlier we can be sharing it. So
Yeah, and tomorrow we are gonna get the zoning ordinance webpage, something on there to start directing people to these schedules and times and that.
Well, that would be good.
Are there going to be hard copies available?
Hard copies? Yeah,
At cost.
yeah, yeah.
I know there's money
really?
involved, but it's just, some people would rather sit in the
Well,
throne
I-
room and look at it.
Is it a printable document? If it's listed on the city's website, can somebody download it and print it?
Yeah, we should be, yeah, I hope so, yeah. we
Yeah, it
would.
should be
Yeah,
like a PDF.
Yeah.
but
Right.
It should be.
convert it to a PDF, yeah.
We just have 2 copies at each library for public viewing.
Yeah, put it at the libraries and
Clerk's
you're
office.
at our office.
At your
it'll be
office, yeah.
available. Yep. And then on the webpage, obviously.
Yeah.
Put that on
There's
there.
plenty.
Okay, we did not recommend any changes to Article 14, so that brings us to to Article 24. So that brings us to Article 25, which has not been reviewed or talked about. And this is administration, enforcement, and penalties. Is this, Terry, you CC'd me on a email you sent to the city manager. Is
Yes.
that from this article? That had to do with terms of office?
Oh, yes, yes. So right there in the red, he's identifying that we're not lined up with zoning enabling act. We actually are by the appointments that are being made because they are for 3-year terms. The problem is that Article 5, Division 2, which is under city administration, which is also part of the city charter, has to change. So we're good with the zoning ordinance because we are doing 3-year terms. And that other ordinance would have to be amended. And I gave that to the city manager and then the city clerk because those might be more their ordinances unless I was told, well, go ahead and do an amendment to one of those other codes. But yeah, that's a different code, but it's well noted that we are at 3 years. So we're good. And then I had a note, I don't know if it was from somebody, but at the very top, the last sentence, I have within 30 days.
I was to say, I think I pulled up because I remember the day after,
Yeah.
and I sent you all these.
Yeah, that's
So
what I was
did you
like-
want me to read through what I had suggested? Because I didn't send it to everybody, I only sent it to you guys.
Yeah, on the 30 days, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some language that needed correcting, but the last sentence of prior to, it's section 1C.
What, read the whole section? Section what?
1C. Oh, section 25.1, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And then under the capital C,
yeah.
the paragraph, I said there should be some sort of time frame, and then my suggestion was 30 days. But there was no, there was no time frame on there for notification. Very last sentence, prior to completing said improvements, the city shall notify the owner, site plan review applicant, or other firm or individual responsible for completion of the required improvement.
Yeah, and this is specific to performance guarantees, so I wouldn't be opposed to
So, I'm sorry, what was the response on that, Terry?
I wouldn't be opposed to putting in the 30 days. I mean, it is something that is very rarely used, performance guarantees, but if they were used in the future, I think it could be specific to say within 30 days.
As opposed to time stipulated.
There was no time
As opposed to time
stipulated.
open, right.
Well, I'm saying in the paragraph, it says the time stipulated, do we change time stipulated to 30 days?
Where's time
Where do you
stipulated?
see that?
It says in the first
Second
sentence.
line.
paragraph.
Okay. maybe-
Whenever required improvements are not installed or maintained within the time stipulated, which,
'Cause I think the time stipulated is where the problem lies. Who's stipulating the time?
Well, that's decided, but then we're only saying 30 days if you find out that none of the improvements
Right,
weren't
those
done.
refer to different
I
times.
see.
Yeah,
There was a judgment that said you'll have it done by this, and it isn't, and you got 30 days or more.
right, yeah. It'd be 30 days past that time stipulated. Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah. Okay.
so where are you gonna put that then exactly?
I just said put it in, so, wherever, I didn't stipulate
I think it's
how to write it, I just said
Right
that
at
it
the
should be
very end of
included.
that sentence.
Yeah.
Individual responsible for completion of the required improvements within 30 days. The city shall notify the owner within 30 days.
Oh, 30 there.
Yeah, probably better 30 days there.
Or just at the very end, within
Yeah,
30 days.
either way,
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. I mean, the city notifying, but we're trying to. I mean, we're trying to say that once they go past a certain point,
You've got 30 days,
yeah.
and you're done. We don't want to notify you, we're telling you this is your drop dead date.
Well, so is that the time stipulated, or
The
is
time
the 30?
stipulated will be part of whatever action occurred, and
Right.
whatever judgment was reached. If they said you've got until the end of June and you don't have it done, we're
Then
going to tell you in 30 days,
30
we're pulling
days
the
and-
plug.
Yeah.
Do we need to give them notice that though? If
That's-
that's, I mean, we would give them notice for any enforcement action. Why do we need to make it 30? I think it would be best left up to the discretion of the enforcement officer personally. Because usually our policy, I think, would be like 2 weeks or 30 days.
Maybe we should use enforcement.
I think, the main thing is you want to get this closed out to get that performance guarantee released. So I would think everybody has an incentive to get this done as soon as possible.
Change it to 2 weeks instead of 30 days?
I think that's too short.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was thinking of not having any.
I mean, what I guess my issue with it is, I'm thinking like, how are we tracking this? And then,
Exactly.
if we're giving the city information, if we're saying we have to do something and then we don't do it, then is
Yeah.
it like a stopple where they're just like free from it?
Well, I think that you should have to notify them within a certain period of time. You can't just leave it wide open at any point.
all the time stipulated is that certain time.
Well, no, because the violation, the time stipulated refers to the end of whatever your original, time frame was. So
Right,
then
because
after
we-
that, then that's when, the city should only have so much time that you shouldn't be able to come a year, 2 years later and say, well, you didn't do this to our satisfaction. You should have a closed amount of time that you have to inform them. And then after that, yeah, you're out of luck.
Yeah, because if you look under,
But I don't like that. I feel like that's
Question I
that's
have is,
too many.
who does the enforcement?
This would be the zoning enforcement officer in this case.
Yeah. I remember when Latitudes was first getting started, they were gonna do some major reconstruction of the building and expand the parking lot. And
well, I think this is one of the reasons why it's.
we required them, the plan commission required them to put a barrier between the back of the parking lot and the resident. And that barrier was gonna be a line of arborvitaes. Go look at it, you see an arborvitae? That was many years ago. So who
Right, but
enforces
the way
it?
this is written now, you could go up to him today.
Right,
Yep.
we could still go enforce this.
Right, and I'm sorry, I think that's kind of baloney.
Yeah.
Like, you should have a certain amount of time, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
I agree.
But what about big things like public health and safety issues? Now we can't do anything if we're past 30 days.
I mean, you could make the time frame longer if you wanted, but I just think that it shouldn't be open-ended. It shouldn't be that you have an endless amount of time, so it's just kind of hanging in the air. It's not really fair
Well, if
to,
they would have done what they were supposed to do when properly stipulated, then they would
well, maybe
be in
they
that
thought they
problem.
were. I mean, you're assuming
Well,
that that's
they can
intentional.
also solve this in court too. I mean, we issue a citation, they can appeal the.
Well, I think this is a different topic, though. We got to kind of put that hat away and just look at it from the standpoint of a performance guarantee, because that's what this is. So if you look at like B, it says a performance guarantee shall be submitted at the time of issuance of the permit authorizing the project, and then the city shall deposit the funds in an interest-bearing account at a financial institution. Then the amount shall be sufficient to cover the estimated cost for the improvements. D, the entire performance guarantee is incurring interest. E, a 10% retainer is still being kept. So to me, this is, the 30 days is only giving them an incentive to get this moving, because you are operating with a performance guarantee that people have time and money in, and we don't want this thing lingering. You've got to close out this performance guarantee.
Right.
So why give them anything more? Just time
Right.
stipulated, you're done.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think we're adding another wrinkle.
Well, I thought you wanted more than 30 days.
No,
I don't really want any. I think
He
whatever
doesn't
the
want-
time stipulated is period.
Okay, all right, I was...
yeah, I mean, I wasn't reading this, but this is basically just a standard performance bond.
Right. Yeah.
And no, once it's been violated, then
You're in violation.
you're in
Right, so
violation,
We're,
right?
we're moving forward. You-
And we're
you
moving
should track
forward, and
this
you're
yourself.
you're paying for it. So, yeah, I don't think we need.
Well, yeah, but you still have to inform them in a reasonable time frame.
It's the reasonable
They've
time
been
frame was the
informed.
time frame that you said you were going to complete the work. I am going to get this job done for you in 90 days, and then 90th day comes and it's not done. You violated your performance bond.
Now, it does say here, an
Period.
amount not less than 10% of the total guarantee may be retained for a period of at least 1 year after the installation of landscape
Yeah, I
materials.
think that's changed somewhat, but
that's
5%
landscape.
now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
2%,
just
I mean,
guarantee
that's-
the plants don't die.
Is there anything in here about like delays for? I don't know.
Well, if the
Whether-
project is delayed for a reasonable purpose or a
Yeah.
reasonable excuse,
Is that in
You-
here
you
though as a
always-
standard or no?
that becomes an extension within the contract.
Is there not a method for somebody to come in if something significant happens to extend
To
the
request.
I mean,
time
it says the
period for
city
the
may
performance?
complete.
Huh?
It says the city may complete the required improvements, so it's not we shall do. It's not that it would leave up discretion to the city. So if somebody wasn't meeting the requirements of the performance guarantee and they had a reasonable
Yeah.
explanation, we would say, sure, okay,
Can
you get more
extend it.
time. Yeah,
But
it's
they
a
could
cold
potentially
spring.
put a lien on your property. I mean, you should have to be notified.
Well, you
but-
should be careful getting yourself into a situation where you're, I think that's fine how it is personally.
I agree. Because, I mean, this isn't anything different in the construction world. that people bidding on public projects normally
This
face.
is boilerplate.
It's boilerplate, yep.
Well, I disagree, but
Okay, well, the time stipulated is what it falls back to.
Right.
And that's
I mean, am I alone in that? Because if I'm alone, I'll drop it right now. But
Yeah,
anybody else?
This is standard operating procedure in public construction. If you bid on a project for the city says, okay, first of all, you're going to have a bid bond, 5% bid bond, to guarantee that you're actually going to execute a contract for what you bid on. And then you're going to have a performance and a payment bond. So not only do you have a performance bond, but you have a material payment bond also that says you're going to pay all your subcontractors that you bought stuff from before you even get paid. And there's a lot of case law, and I mean, this is a standard legal process.
No,
for
I'm not
performance
against the
bond.
process. The process makes perfect sense. I just think that leaving things open
It's not.
and
I think
not.
it is
It's not.
from what they're saying.
You would have gotten if you're getting up close to your performance date when you were supposed to be done, and you're only 50% done, and you haven't done anything about asking for an extension, reasonable or not, but or finding another way to get it done in time, you violate the contract date. You violated the contract, and this is the penalty.
And there are procedures set in those contracts about delays and like how you go about
Absolutely.
requesting extensions.
Those are usually in supplemental general conditions of a public contract. So yes, and they're usually pretty thick.
Okay.
No change.
No change.
I'm on no change game.
It's okay. I'm not gonna fault you for
I
that.
agree.
No, yeah. It sounds like there's some clear expectations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because I asked Harry, and he said not in the 27 years he's been here.
Well, good.
So, any other items on 25? Hearing none, and we already said I'll open 26, 27, and 28 if anybody has general comments, but I did not see anything that really, we did have one item. I backed that up. And Ashley, you brought this up.
I'm sorry, my head was somewhere else. What did you say?
Between 122-26-26-6,
Hold on, let me get
between
26 what?
26-26.6.
6.
This is the specific standards for
Oh.
wind energy conversion systems
Yes.
and the height. So A1A talks about not to exceed 60 feet. And then if you go to, on the next page, B,
Oh, yeah. that they
1A,
should be consistent.
all of a sudden it's 80 feet.
Right.
So we did point that out, and Joe was going to make sure those were consistent.
Okay, yeah.
But I didn't have anything else marked.
Can't believe I missed it.
I didn't have anything in 27, and 28 is access management for Euclid Avenue, and I'm not changing
Oh,
that.
I did have a question, and I don't remember if I asked it. No, because the 60-80 thing was the only one that we actually talked about, because we were...
Right.
Okay, so in that same section, 26.6, under B, capital B, number 2B, it says, when you're looking at these wind energy systems on towers, and we're under, I think, isn't B accessory? Yeah. So it says the language here, including mechanical setback, equal distance of 110% of the system from all property boundaries, public right-of-ways, utility lines, the Saginaw River, or other wind energy conservation systems. But if you look back at A to B, it doesn't have any mention of any of that. And so one, it has this stipulation as
Equal to the
a
mechanical
accessory purpose.
shadow.
This verbiage of, boundaries, public right-of-ways, utility lines, and Saginaw River, that you're supposed to be mindful of those, but in your primary, not accessory, but primary use, we don't have anything like that. That seems kind of weird to me. Is there a logic there?
So what's the difference between A and B?
A and B, one is accessory and one's primary.
Capital A, 2.
Capital A.
Capital, yes.
Capital A and capital B, because
Correct.
that's they exist within those two major categories. Wind conversion systems are a permitted accessory use in all districts subject to the following standards.
Yeah, so-
And B says the following wind conversion systems are a permitted accessory use in RM2. Well, there's a change right there.
Yeah, nowhere to.
Yeah, I have that as a...
High-rise
as a-
residential, waterfront, O1, which is going away. All commercial, industrial districts subject to the following.
So when, in your setback requirements for just these districts, they're...
Following wind energy conversion systems are a permitted accessory use in all districts, subject to the following standards. Are we aware of that? A permitted accessory use. Now you're in B, Adam, but in A it says in all districts. Right there. Permitted accessory use in all districts,
Yeah.
subject to the following standards.
Yeah.
So in B we said in those specific districts, but in A we said in all districts. And so actually maybe that's where the difference in those, the 60 feet and the 80 feet comes from, not that they should be the same, but because of the districts that they're allowed in.
But I think what my thing was is that hypothetically it shouldn't be, because are these supposed to be more lax because they're,
I don't know.
you know what I'm saying? Because
The
if they
difference-
are, then it's not, it's more stringent. You know
The
what I'm
difference is between capital A and capital B.
saying? Right.
And
But my interpretation is that B is supposed to be, because they're in these, industrial, commercial, and, that they would be more lax. But then in this case, it would be more stringent.
well, it gets
Well, it's
even better
saying
than
there,
that.
permitted accessory use right there.
But that's in both. A and B are both accessory uses. It's which districts.
I didn't see accessory use in A.
It is.
Yeah.
It says it right there.
Permitted accessory use
in all districts.
In all districts, right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, not only that, but C,
Right.
capital C says the same thing. Well, no, excuse me, it says something slightly different. Following wind energy conversion systems exceeding 80 feet are a permitted
And we're back to this 80
after
feet
special
again.
use approval in M2.
And then we're back to this 80 feet thing that was the problem before,
Well,
where we were
Well, the-
using a...
but if it's different,
height
if it's
there
in
is
different,
prescribed.
if it's different districts, then that's why there's a difference in that height.
Well, I know, but it's going the opposite. I think the intent is that you're becoming,
Well, it's,
like, what is C say?
we need to get some clear.
150.
Yeah.
80.
I think the
A is
150.
60.
See this, yeah, this says 150, that was 80, and that was 60.
So I think it seems to make sense to me, the height anyway, that
Well, under 2A, which is B, under B, 2A, it says, let's see, shall not encroach into setback requirements for the principal use. So there, it's just the setback requirements for whatever district you're in.
Right, so that's more lax than the other one is saying that it's 110% of the system height
Right.
plus all property, you know, from all property boundaries, public right-of-ways, utility lines, the Saginaw River, or other wind energy conservation system.
How long have we had this article?
Look right at the bottom on,
I did. I don't see anything.
this, if there was a city code that we had.
There was not.
Yeah, we'd have to go to Muni Code and take a look at it.
Do I have it?
This would be so easier to
Second.
take.
Or a
That
printed,
was last time.
or a printed. Nobody brought it.
I got a printed
Like-
version. Well, I
You
got
know,
a draft,
these
but
districts on this column,
Probably
these
been
districts,
hopeless.
you know, this is
Some
all,
of that stuff doesn't.
or, you know, you have
Yeah, if we had,
these districts in this column, this district, you know what I'm saying? And then you have like radiating thing.
we never
But it
received this
seems
before.
like, depending on which part you're looking
this.
at, some of them are
Before the final.
more restrictive,
Oh,
some
we
of them are
didn't?
less.
okay.
Like it's not.
Go to the city webpage real quick. Oh, there it is.
It's not sort of me wanting to have ABC begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember it being that convoluted when we put it together.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
do you remember having put it together?
Yeah,
Were you on the city commission on that?
no, planning commission.
Oh, planning commission. Okay.
First time.
Right there. The horse's mouth. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Dennis is the horse? That's,
Yeah. So that was in 2009.
2009.
Yeah. Ordinance number 2009-4.
And who authored that?
Well, that would have been Jim, working with the planning commission at the time.
Jim Bedell?
Yeah. And I remember having meetings and Jim brought in some people that were installers for some of these systems. They reviewed everything. We kind of got their okay, and that's why we thought everything was good. Because this one, we did bring in people from that industry and had conversations with them. Then let them review the final ordinance. So, yeah, if we got something wrong,
My job is renewable energy, and I specifically do permitting for large-scale utility,
Oh.
wind and solar.
Oh, do you? Okay.
No one's gonna look to. There's no wind turbine that's going to be less than 80 feet. So
And the only
no one's installing 160-foot
I mean, it
turbines
seems
either.
logical to me. It's
not
getting
even
more, like
practical
as you
at
go
that
to more commercial,
So
industrial,
county's
it's getting
got-
more
county has
permissive.
their own.
That vertical.
right, but.
That was the whole point of the ordinance.
There's also
What are
But
you
this
looking
is
Michigan
just,
State.
like, if you look at A,
Right.
Rotor, diameter, height,
renewable
all
energy.
increasing.
And
no, not that.
ordinance needs to comply
Your
with it,
setbacks.
or else.
So
Well,
your
yeah.
setback in A, which is.
But the county's, I'm sure, has been
Hypothetically,
updated. Also, nobody's probably looking to say it.
You know, any
Yeah,
district.
I mean, it's another thing.
So hypothetically.
It's like Madison.
Most,
Like, we don't have enough
We
land
don't
to
have enough
support.
land.
you know, it
I could
says
see
it just
this
has
for
to honor setback requirements.
somebody wants to install a
But
wind
then when you
turbine
come
on
to
their
the
property
setback,
for
for
generation.
the district.
There,
But
that
then
would
you
comply
come
with these heights, not
to B,
utility
which
scale,
is
like not on the
hypothetical.
large scale that
Less
this ordinance
stringent.
is trying to
Now it's
apply.
adding this.
Well, they're
language.
taller with bigger rotors, though, so I think that's why they want to increase the setback.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
Stephen-
keep in
Stephen
mind
was
that
just saying.
wind systems were anything from a spinning turbine like you can see over in the community center to something with a rotor this big in diameter that they put on a parapet on top of a building downtown. And then we had to go from there all the way to an industrial size
I
unit.
think,
So
yeah.
looking at it, it's like we're saying, this
trying
is
to-
allowed in all districts, subject to these conditions.
Yeah.
And that's what the list of conditions was.
Right, but what,
Because we broke the conditions down to the zoning.
Right.
And the setback requirement getting greater, even though you're going into more intensive uses, makes sense because the rotor and the height is increasing. So, to me, that makes sense.
okay, I guess I can see a logic in that.
and like you just said, I remember that chapter, somebody making that statement that not all of these are on towers. And they come in different shapes and sizes.
Well, we had the ones going in
this
right
is
there at
a-
the bend of the river.
Yeah,
We had the guys in Essexville manufacturing them.
yeah.
We had a city commissioner that was installing them. So we had a lot of input.
Right, yeah, that's why, you know, we thought, let's just leave it alone, we had limited time and money.
Well,
So-
the only thing that we've got then that's an issue with the draft is making sure that where zoning districts are mentioned in this
They
section,
match.
in this article, they need to be brought up to date.
Yeah, right, yeah, because like the old one, we don't even have.
Right.
And Joe,
Yeah.
when I spoke to him, a lot of the stuff that's like RM2, like the zoning district stuff, once he's got to a certain point, he's going to word search and make sure he's, consistent rectifying the districts. And stuff.
No stray zoning.
There shouldn't be, according to his, process.
Another question I had was on these requirements for number of them. So whichever one you're looking at. What's the logic of never having a cap
Cap, what are you talking about?
on the number of them?
Well, if
Like-
you meet the requirements and you've got the property, you can put as many up as you want.
Sorry.
Doesn't
Oh, you're-
that seem a little liberal for any?
Well, you still have to meet all the requirements. So you're going to have your setback, and you're only going to be able to fit so many on a given site.
Right.
Then we put one aside.
Some of these have some interesting
And you have to have
setback
separate
requirements too, in terms of the shadow of your existing structure cannot encroach on the other property, so that's gonna eliminate most of it right there. Yeah, I don't
Just
think,
the mechanics of wind energy is going to limit the number you could put in any particular situation.
right,
I missed the very beginning.
Just the mechanics, the engineering of it is going to limit the number.
No.
we're not gonna have a wind farm like out in the thumb in Bay City.
No,
I don't think we should arbitrarily limit the number. I mean, we should leave it to the engineers to figure out how many they can fit onto a site.
Right.
Well, we'll just take 7 of them, one right in front of the other.
Then
Okay.
backtrack to the one.
And then when the wind
Perpetual motion machine. Free energy forever.
Anything on, let's move into solar now that we've talked about wind. Article 27.
Oh, hold on, I had one more question. And this is just a question, this isn't even a suggestion, just a clarification, I guess. In capital C, when they're talking about decommissioning,
Yeah.
what happens if a business goes out of business? So in essence, you don't have any money. What happens then?
We had a big argument about this because what I wanted was an escrow account established for decommissioning.
Okay.
And the other 2 people on the committee were against it.
Like what happened? I mean, you wouldn't have the money. So like,
Performance
then
guarantee.
what?
This is the performance guarantee section. So they have to have this guarantee
Is
that
that all
if
part of this?
it's a surety bond, that if they go out of business, it's still on the cost of the developer.
But that's not part of that sentence. Or that's not part of, this is a whole different article.
Number 9 is performance.
8.
Yeah. Because you were looking at decommissioning number 8, and then right after number 9 is performance guarantee.
Yeah, that was the conclusion we came to. The commission
May require.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I wanted must.
for section 122.25. Okay, that goes back to the performance section. Yep. Mountain may, but it's permissive, not mandatory.
Well, I think we have an opportunity to change it now if we.
Well, I wanted shall, but I was overruled.
Somebody make a motion.
All right, I move that we change may to shall.
In Article C
9.
9, first sentence,
support.
we have a motion to change may to shall in 122-26.6 C9. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
all right.
What's
Man, it only took 15 years to get that.
Wow, see?
Gotta hang around with some shit.
Always went
So what?
I said yes.
Oh, okay.
All
Now,
stuff that went up is down. except for
Remember,
communities.
the first wind project that comes in and doesn't happen because of that word is on you.
And Dennis, and everybody here who voted yes, thank you, nice try though, Doug.
Okay, solar. Article 27.
You know, you live in Michigan.
Yeah, we live in Michigan. Yeah, I don't want to bet on this horse. Not that solar doesn't have uses, but it's not scalable yet. Oh, Ashley, did you see 27.5?
Yes. I had a note or a question, or, starts with a question.
27.5?
27.5.
This was another one where we had to do a little bit of a dance.
Located in the regulated historic districts.
Camping.
Where applicable, when would it not be applicable?
Whoa. Where does
Well,
it say?
anytime it's not on, where,
Well, it's still in historic districts,
Right.
yeah.
so when would it be in a historic district but not need required, or, approval?
Where does it
May
say?
not be visible.
Yeah. If they put, for instance, they put it on the coach house roof.
I'm sorry, I couldn't listen to two people at the same time.
And then, like if they put it on the coach house roof behind the main address, or the main house.
You should still need approval. We do approvals on the backside of the houses all the time.
Keep reading.
Well, and it also depends on that work review list. That the
I don't know if there is anything solar or any type of
it
alternative
should be in
energy
there.
on that list.
It should be,
It should be.
yeah, yeah.
So maybe we should look at it just to make sure. If there is a circumstance like you're saying, like where, it's not visible or something, like I could totally be on board, but I think we should say that. Or if it's a matter of putting it on the work review list, that anything that does, now everything becomes applicable. You know what I'm saying?
I just wonder if this is better kind of regulated. Some of the historic, considerations are better through the historic ordinance rather than.
Right, so that's what I'm saying is, so should we be adding it to a work review list on that end?
If it's not already, which I don't know off the top of my
I don't remember it, but I haven't looked at the list in a while.
But why am I only seeing that it's related to flat roofs? I don't see,
Systems shall be mounted parallel to the plane of a pitched roof and have a low profile.
but I mean, where it's mentioning the HDC.
It says
The HDC is all the way
Yeah,
through.
say it has both.
Yeah.
This is
four. Number 4.
Oh, okay.
B4.
I was in 5.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that if it's in the historic district, unless you absolutely cannot see it in any way, shape, or form, it should be reviewed, period. Regardless of really any other.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is interesting. I'm not sure that. I think it's better regulated through Chapter 64 and policy of the district commission rather than the zoning code.
Right, I'm just saying, if it's all, falls under the HDC, then there wouldn't really be a need for this where applicable. Because it would all be applicable. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
This
where applicable-
suggests that there's instances where it's not needed.
That's not how I interpret it as where applicable, meaning where Chapter 64 would apply.
What is chapter 64?
The historic.
The historic.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's not like something that I'm like strong about. I think if they're, if it's not in the HGC, if that's the case in Chapter 64, then we need to make sure it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I guess I'm just not too concerned about what it has to say here, given that it says that it does reference the historic district.
And that's what I'm saying, is, it's, the language here isn't, you know, my chief concern. My chief concern is just making sure that when it does come up.
I've
it's
seen
being-
where applicable in about 3 spots already through the rest of the document. So I don't know why we put that in there.
Yeah, to me, it suggests that there are times when it's not applicable. And my question is then, when is that?
And I think that would be
Yeah.
according to whatever Chapter 64 and policy set by HDC has to say. That's my read.
Yeah, because I think and this is strictly my opinion, the only thing that shouldn't be included is, if it's literally not visible from any other parcel.
Well, one of the other things we're trying to do is lessen the impact of the historical commission when we were doing this document. We didn't want them.
Well, as someone who sits on the historical commission, I strongly disagree.
Well, I know you would. That doesn't bother me.
I know.
I'm just saying, as we were putting this together, you know, at the time that this was being done, the historical commission was not the nicest group of people in the world.
Well, that was a while ago then. That's not the case now. We're very amenable.
I'm just putting it in context.
I mean, to me, the where applicable, that leaves the discretion up to the Historic District Commission.
Yes.
I mean, because then it goes to, we have a work review list with columns that say, if you do this work,
Right.
you need to do this or that. And so,
Mary.
Before that.
So, what is it that we are proposing to do with this then?
I mean, at this point, I guess I would say.
Chapter 64 is already referenced specifically, so
Right.
it puts it back.
I mean, in this case, as I said, I wasn't even making a suggestion to change anything. I really just wanted some clarification on.
I think where
What
applicable
types of
means
things?
that it's
Yeah, I don't
still
remember.
the purview of the Historic District Commission to set the standard on
Will you
what
make
type
a-
of review.
Your own personal note about that somewhere, that we need to look at that on the other end.
Well, I'll be looking at work review.
But I said we were talking about.
Yeah, I've been looking at it, so I'll be sure.
I just want to make sure that there's not a whole gap in that on our end.
Yeah, somebody talked about it already.
It may, I just don't remember it. And I don't remember, so that may mean absolutely nothing. Another question I had, and this was again just a question as far as, is this a mistake? But in, well,
That's what else.
You got a meeting going.
oh yeah, Alan Flood. I'm not saying a word. Section 27.6, I just want to see is this intentional or a mistake? So this is not a suggestion, but just a question. In section 27.6, our letters are off, but we'll go by the ones that they actually have. So we'll say C5, under installation, it says, shall be ground-mounted, roof-mounted, or on poles. Were we purposely leaving out wall-mounted, or is that an oversight?
Well, it does say it's the principal use. Does that matter?
I don't know. I just
Or
thought it could
solar
potentially
energy
be.
system under C, the beginning of that whole section,
See,
where a solar energy system is the principal use of the property.
right.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
you
that
could
would
still
make a
have a
difference.
wall-mounted.
You won't have a wall. It's that's the principal use for the property, so that presupposes there's nothing else there.
Right.
Okay, well,
There
yeah, I
would
didn't
be
know
a
if you
wall.
ever had an application where something would be,
Well, then,
yeah, wall-mounted on something else, like not a separate use, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is saying there should be a wall.
Well, we addressed wall in the article, so I don't understand why it's not listed here.
Just real quick. Solar is in the work review list.
Oh, it is? Oh,
And what does it say?
If it's visible on the primary facade or roof, then you have to go to the HDC.
not visible.
But
On primary.
it will need some review regardless of.
Does it
Where?
say I'm not on the primary?
So it's not if it's not visible,
Right,
then it still has HPO.
right,
Right.
so, yeah.
But either way.
That-
But that's too just solar panels. I mean,
Well, it could also be water meters.
there's obviously other,
Yeah. But
we're
also,
talking too about these
There's no
wind
flat roof.
systems or, yeah, somebody wanted to put
Yeah.
turbine. Okay, but back to this, cause see in,
You got stuff that's okay.
on the solar energy system is the principal use of the property. It's only permitted after special.
yeah, if you go to the B as presented, 3D, wall mounted, shall not cover more than 50% of the wall to which it is attached. But that's not in a location where it's the primary use. So it's covered.
Principal use of the property.
Right.
Even though it should be A.
Right, yeah, we're ignoring their formatting issues. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was an intentional,
Yeah, it looks
I
like
think
that there was never an application where that would be the principal use, but it would still be mounted on a wall for some reason. You know, I don't know enough about these, so sorry for my
Yeah.
ignorance. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't a.
Do no harm, as the doctor would say. Okay, do we have any other issues on 27? Let's finish up then on 28. And this, I don't know, if this doesn't change anything, does it, Terry?
Yeah, this I would recommend that we go. Yeah,
This
because
is-
when this was adopted, we had the different municipalities approve the similar language, so this should be the same in Monitor Township. And then,
Bangor?
well, let's see, Bangor, yeah, Bangor, and I don't know about Frankenmuth, because that's out on the far south, and probably not, but it would be Bangor and Monitor. Yeah. This was paid for by a MDOT grant. It was one of those where the different municipalities participated because there was a hired consultant by MDOT, so we just kind of went along with the meetings and the public inputs, and the person developed the language, and it was adopted by the 3 communities. So I think in order to amend it, I'd have to ask, but I think they would want to go back and take a look at the other municipalities and see why it was needed to be amended. It's just my guess, but I guess over time those people would go away and I don't know.
Well, MDOT did a corridor study on Euclid from Salzburg to Wilder.
Yeah, and it was a detailed study because there's pictures that show where the new curb cuts would be, the type of spacing that, and they had the full width of, or the full length of Euclid, all aerial photography with notes on each of the drives. So it was, an extensive study that resulted in this ordinance. If you were to look at the whole package of what was put into that.
I have a question on, let's see here. 28.4, some more awesome formatting issues. I guess it would be B, we'll call it.
What page, Ashley?
We'll wind up on 148.
Yeah.
B, 8. And this is just, again, a question for Cliff, because I don't quite understand. It says, the planning commission may reduce this to not less than 150 feet where the offsets are aligned to not create left turn conflicts. Are they offset or are they aligned? I'm confused.
Well, what you're looking at is if you've got a car coming from each direction,
Okay.
if the driveway over here requires him to turn across that other car, you've got a conflict there. So what you want is you want this guy turning left into this driveway, this guy turning left into this driveway, not have them offset that way so they got to cross each other.
Okay. So, is that what their offsets? So the word offsets is referring to,
How the streets align that you're turning into.
right, but then wouldn't that only be if they're offset?
Well, there are a lot of offset, I mean, there's offset driveways, offset streets, offset entryways. What you don't want is you don't want the two guys trying to get into the left turn lane at the same time.
Right, but are those considered offsets if they're aligned?
No, if they're aligned, it's not an offset.
Okay, so that's why this wording doesn't
She
make sense.
doesn't like the wording.
Because I mean, if they're offset, to me, they're offset. You know what I'm saying? If they're aligned, they're aligned. How are they offset and aligned?
Well, what it's saying is they may be offset.
The planning commission may reduce this to not less than 150 feet where the offsets are aligned.
To not create the left turn conflict.
Right. But don't
I
they
think
cease being
aligned
offsets when they're aligned?
Is the wrong,
You know,
Aligned is, yeah.
isn't the right word to use here.
right. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Like
But-
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, but don't they?
We could use a
Once they're called, I mean, shouldn't we not be calling them offsets at that point? Shouldn't they be called, I don't know, what's the other?
Not
Drives or, you know, shouldn't there be another word that's more accurate?
Given that you have so many jurisdictions involved in this, we're not going to die on this hill.
Yeah,
Well, no, I just mean, I'm not nuts though, that doesn't make sense.
No,
does it?
you're right, it doesn't. A different word would be better.
Okay.
But this is the word that's there and we're not going to change it.
But that is kind of
We'll put it on the list for review, but I don't know that, yeah.
Like what?
It's just it could have been a different word to reduce.
Yeah, we should still leave
Yeah,
that.
should there be a more accurate term?
Okay,
Yes.
that completes the ordinance. I would entertain a motion to,
What?
I'm thinking, how do we want to do this? We need to have a motion that memorializes the fact that we have reviewed the whole ordinance, have made changes, and are recommending its submission to our consultant for final codification of our discussions and presentation of the final draft ordinance.
So moved.
Presentation.
Can I do that? Is that cheating? Dennis pulls that, why can't I pull that?
Second.
This one's a little more complicated than the ones
Yeah,
I-
you know what I mean though, right, Dennis?
Yeah.
Get it submitted.
I'm trying to figure out how to word it properly.
That's why I cheated.
Well, it's got to be recorded, so.
So, do I hear a motion?
What exactly are we?
Do we need two?
We're saying this is the final. We're we're approving all changes and submitting this as the final draft.
We're
Of the
Final,
of the
final
entire
review.
zoning ordinance, yes.
Concluded, yes.
Not just the site review.
Final.
All of our discussions up to this point, including
Yeah.
the subcommittee report and our two special meetings, or one special meeting. Well, no, how many meetings have we had? A gazillion.
Been working on a long time.
We've been working on it a long time. Well, yeah, because it goes back to September last year was the first sets we got. So all of our
current review of the entire
of the
ordinance
entire ordinance. There you go.
by the planning commission.
Well, this draft, because aren't we still
That's what
going
we're
to
trying
be,
get.
we're still going to be looking at the final draft, aren't we?
We'll be looking at it won't be a draft at that point.
Be the
It'll
final
the
revision.
It'll be the final proposed zoning ordinance.
Maybe final review edits and comments as presented are deemed acceptable and the document be submitted to the
Yep.
consultant for preparation of the final draft.
Yep.
What he said.
Yeah.
Hey, no, if I can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you worded it well. I like it.
I like that one even better.
All right.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
Oh no! AI.
Well, I told him what to say.
Are you ready?
All right.
This one down here and that one.
Commissioner Batcha.
First one.
I move that the final review, edits, and comments as presented are deemed acceptable, and that the document be submitted to the consultant for preparation of the final draft.
Do I have support?
Support.
I have support. All those in favor?
Hold on, I have a question first, though.
Yes, ma'am.
With that wording, then are we just the things that we left kind of as to talk to Joe and see what he suggests, those things that we left kind of open?
Those have actually been captured, and he has them.
Right, but I mean, are we
just
saying
haven't-
then at that point that whatever he comes up with, or is there a review of that? You know what I'm saying?
Like the
Are we just accepting whatever his changes are then, or are we going to see them?
Contingent upon the changes being made as suggested,
Well, sometimes we didn't make any suggestions because we didn't know
as
what.
submitted.
As submitted. 'Cause
You know what I'm saying? Like,
You can always, after it's adopted or approved, you can always make
We can
changes
always go back
again.
and change it,
So,
yep.
I mean, this could go on forever.
well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that there's some things we did leave open. Are we just accepting whatever he puts, or are we supposed to look at that again?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ashley, I'll accept whatever he puts, but I don't know if you will.
I'm not going to
But
disagree.
we
with
don't
you.
necessarily have the time to review again.
Yeah, because looking
Not the
at
whole
that
thing.
schedule, on May 27th, that's when they have to get it back to us.
I don't have it.
June 17th is planning commission public hearing for
Right.
final draft.
Yeah, for the final draft that he just gave us. And
So-
that will be available to the public on the 27th.
What did I do with that?
So there's nothing necessarily stopping us from tweaking the
That's
final
fine.
draft.
Well, I have
Have
one
it if
too,
you
but I
need.
don't know. Well,
Yeah,
So I think that motion lets us get to the final draft, and then we can still change the final draft.
right, because
Yeah.
we're not going to
That's what I
have,
just wanted to make sure that that
Yeah.
option was still available.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we would want.
I don't want to just blanket, okay, whatever
Right,
you,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I would never just cut
Right.
you off.
Yeah.
we should be able to do that, provided we get it back by the 27th. And hopefully we get it back sooner than that.
Okay. I just want to clear, before I voted, I wanted clarification.
And
Okay, that's it.
right now, do we have that triplex coming for that meeting, or we don't know yet?
I still haven't heard, he still owes us payment, so TBD.
All right.
All right.
Um,
But
That
then,
being the case, we have a motion and support on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
all right.
Any item not on the agenda? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Nope.
No.
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned.
Wow.
Yay!
Way to go.
Be proud of us.
So what happened to my copy of that?
I'll be proud of us for the final.